The latest results are pretty shocking and we are only one day away from the election. Trump takes the lead in critical battleground states, including a state many thought was out of his reach. Hey everyone, I'm Alan J. Smith and today we are going to break down the electoral map based on the latest results to see how both Trump and Harris stand in their path to 270 electoral votes. I have already locked in all the solid states for each candidate before diving into the battlegrounds that will decide the election. And as of now, Harris is leading at 209 electoral votes compared to Trump, who is far behind with only 166 electoral votes. Now let the battle begin from the west, starting with Nevada, a state that has been trending more competitive in recent years. According to the RCP averages, Trump is ahead with a razor-thin margin of only 0.9%. And the race here is too close. Nevada's 6 electoral votes may not be the biggest prize, but in a close election like this, every state matters. In 2020, Biden won Nevada by just a 2.4% margin. But there are signs that the state could be shifting slightly to the right. Nevada has voted Democratic in every presidential election since 2004. But this year, it's looking like a true toss-up. And as of now, it is a slightly red state. Hey everyone, please subscribe this channel to get daily updates about the election. Thank you for subscribing. And the next one is Arizona. The latest RCP averages show Trump leading Harris by 2.4% margin. Arizona, which narrowly flipped blue in 2020 with Biden's victory, is now leaning back towards Trump. Even Harris struggles to maintain that 0.31% lead that Democrats held in 2020. Historically, Arizona has been a Republican stronghold, but its rapidly changing demographics have made it more competitive in recent cycles. If Trump can secure Arizona's 11 electoral votes, it will be a crucial boost to his chance of reclaiming the White House. And as of now, it is a lean red state. Moving to the Midwest, Iowa is also leaning strongly towards Trump in 2024. The last poll shows Trump leading by 7 points, a reflection of his solid support in rural areas. Harris will try to make a play for Iowa's cities and suburbs, but the state has been trending red for a while now. And it looks like it will stay that way in 2024. And as of now, it is a lean red state. Now let's take a look at Wisconsin, one of the most critical battleground state in 2024. The latest RCP averages show Harris leading by only a 0.3% margin. Trump narrowly lost in 2020 by 0.63% margin after winning it in 2016 with a 0.77% margin. Wisconsin is a key swing state in the so-called blue wall, which includes Michigan and Pennsylvania. Wisconsin's 10 electoral votes are crucial for both candidates, and it's often said that the candidate who wins Wisconsin has a strong chance of winning the election. This race remains razor close, and Wisconsin is once again living up to its reputation as one of the ultimate swing states. And as of now, it is a slightly blue state. Over in Michigan, the race is shaping up to be another nail-biter. The latest RCP averages show Harris leading by a 0.8% margin. Michigan also has a history of tight races. In 2016, Trump narrowly won the state by less than 0.22% margin, only for Biden to flip it back in 2020 with a 2.8% victory. Now Michigan's 15 electoral votes are once again up for grabs. Its diverse electorate make it one of the most unpredictable states in the country, and both campaigns are treating it as a must-win. For Trump, maintaining Republican strength in the Midwest is essential for securing a path to victory. For Harris, flipping Michigan back to the Democratic column is a major priority for regaining the White House. But as of now, it is a slightly blue state. Next, we move to Ohio. The latest RCP averages show Trump leading Harris by a 6.9% margin, a comfortable margin that suggests Ohio's 17 electoral votes are likely to remain in Trump's column. Ohio has become a more solidly red state in recent years, with Trump winning it by an 8% margin in 2020 and with an 8.1% margin in 2016. Although Democrats have made gain in some urban areas, But Trump's dominance in Ohio's rural region and among working class voters keeps the state safely Republican. And as of now, it is a lean red state. Pennsylvania is another must-watch state, with 19 electoral votes at stake. Trump and Harris are locked in a tight battle here, with Trump holding a narrow lead of a 0.3% margin according to the RCP averages based on the latest polling. Pennsylvania was instrumental in Biden's 2020 victory when he won the state by a 1.2% margin, flipping it back to blue after Trump's surprising win in 2016. However, voter sentiment seems to be shifting. Trump's base in rural Pennsylvania and the energy industry remains strong, while Harris is relying heavily on the urban centers to close the gap. As we saw in previous election, Pennsylvania is a state where turnout is everything, and both campaigns are pushing hard to mobilize their voters in this Rust Belt battleground. And as of now, it is a slightly red state. Then in New Hampshire, where Harris leads Trump by 5 points according to the last poll conducted in late October. New Hampshire has been a battleground state in recent elections, though it has leaned Democratic in the past 2 presidential elections. In 2020, Biden won New Hampshire by a 7.4% margin, following Clinton's narrow victory in 2016 with a 0.37% margin. New Hampshire has a reputation of being an independent-minded state, and its voters often split their ballots, making it a key swing state in presidential elections. New Hampshire's 4 electoral votes are important for both candidates, though the state's relatively small size makes it less crucial than other battlegrounds. Polls in New Hampshire have consistently leaned Democratic. That's why Harris is expected to win New Hampshire with a similar margin in 2020. And as of now, this is a lean blue state. Next is Virginia, where Harris is ahead with a 5.8% margin over Trump, according to the recent RCP averages. Virginia has become increasingly Democratic in recent election cycles. In 2020, Biden won Virginia by a 10.1% margin, continuing the state's shift towards the Democratic Party. Since 2008, it has voted Democratic in every presidential election. Its 13 electoral votes are critical for Harris's overall strategy, and the state's strong Democratic base ensures that it will remain an important part of the Democratic coalition. Harris will win Virginia, though by a smaller margin than Biden in 2020, and as of now, this is a lean blue state. Next, we have North Carolina, where Trump is leading by 1.4% margin according to the RCP averages. It has been a reliable red state in recent presidential elections, with Trump winning by 1.3% margin in 2020 and 3.7% margin in 2016. The Harris campaign is hoping to make inroads here, but so far the numbers suggest that the state is still leaning towards the GOP. North Carolina's 16 electoral votes are key to Trump's path to 270. If he holds on to the state as expected, it will be difficult for Harris to find enough votes elsewhere to make up for the loss. And as of now, this is a slightly red state. In Georgia, Trump is ahead with a slim lead of only a 2.6% margin according to the RCP averages. And the race is pretty tight here. Georgia famously flipped blue in 2020 with Biden winning it just by 0.24% margin. However, the latest data suggests that Trump is gaining ground, particularly in rural areas and among conservative voters, who were crucial to his success in 2016. Georgia's 16 electoral votes could be pivotal for either candidate. The Harris campaign is putting significant resources into the state, hoping to maintain the momentum from 2020. This will likely be one of the closest races in the country, with both campaigns eyeing it as a potential tipping point. But as of now, this is a lean red state. Finally, we came to Florida, one of the most significant states in every presidential election. Here, Trump leads by 8.5% margin according to the RCP averages, solidifying his position in a state that has historically been a toss-up. Florida's 30 electoral votes are a key part of Trump's strategy, and his growing lead suggests that the state is moving away from the status as a true battleground. In 2020, Trump won Florida by 3.4% margin, and the state has become even more favorable to Republicans. Harris will continue to push hard in South Florida, particularly with Latino voters, but Florida appears to be likely red for now. As we move into the battlegrounds, Trump has a lead in several key states, including most of the battleground states, like Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Arizona, and Nevada, which puts him in a favorable position with the possibility of winning the 2024 election. On the other hand, Harris holds some key states like Michigan, Wisconsin, Virginia, Illinois, and Minnesota to stay in the race. The results show Trump emerges with a commanding 287 electoral votes, 17 more than the necessary 270 to reclaim the presidency. On the other side, Harris, despite winning in solid Democratic states, finishes with 251 electoral votes, falling short in key states like Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and others. And as of now, the result seems good for Trump, but it is concerning for Harris. And what do you think? Who will win this 2024 election? Share your predictions in the comments below. Also, like this video and subscribe this channel. I'm Alan J. Smith. See you tomorrow with the updated map.